Kaya hider dire. Habari mana. Ba tigre puru pichara. Indi mana jaman. Banana.
All right, let's dive into some advice that could seriously change your life.
Yeah, definitely.
We've got this piece called 6 Ways to Change Your Destiny with Mindfulness. See the results if you persevere. It's all about, like, not just knowing about mindfulness,
Right.
but actually using it to make real changes happen.
Yeah.
What I found really interesting was it doesn't just, like, tell you what to do. It really digs into the why behind it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
absolutely. And one of the most fascinating things the text argues
Uh-huh.
is that mindfulness, it's not just about like meditating or, just being present. It's
Yeah.
about actively shaping your life.
Right.
And it all starts with this idea of active choice, which I think really challenges us to think about how much control we actually have.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Like, how often are we just kind of on autopilot?
Totally.
Letting things happen to us instead of actually making choices.
Exactly. And the text even points out that, like, while asking for advice can be helpful, a lot of times we kind of give our power away
Right.
by letting other people make those decisions for us.
Right.
And it's about recognizing that we are ultimately the architects of our own lives.
Okay.
And each choice that we make, whether it's big or small, it's all contributing to that.
It's like adding to the story.
It is. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's building that masterpiece of your life.
So it's like, instead of just going with the flow, we can actually, like, grab the steering wheel
Yes. Take control.
and decide where we want to go. But
Yeah.
what about those times when, life throws you a curveball and it feels like you don't have a choice at all?
Right.
Right.
That's where I think the text's second principle comes in,
Okay.
which is focusing on the positive.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not about pretending that challenges don't exist,
Right.
but rather about choosing where we direct our attention. So think about it this way.
Okay.
You're faced with a difficult situation,
Okay.
maybe at work or something.
Right.
You could either dwell on all the negative aspects of it,
Yeah.
let the stress and frustration kind of take over,
Oh, yeah, definitely.
or
Yeah.
you can look for opportunities within that challenge.
Okay.
Maybe there are solutions.
Right.
You can focus on what you can learn from that experience,
Right.
So it's like,
So it's like a mental shift.
exactly. It's
Yeah.
like choosing to see the glass half full instead of half empty,
Okay.
Yeah. And the text really emphasizes that by cultivating that positive outlook. We're not just, making things more pleasant for ourselves.
Right.
We're actually changing our perception of reality.
Whoa. Okay.
And that shift in perception, it can have like a ripple effect
Uh-huh.
on our thoughts, our emotions,
Wow. Okay.
our actions, everything.
That's pretty powerful. I love that quote.
Oh, yeah.
From the text, it says, people who love to smile will not have bad luck.
Oh, that's a good one.
I love that because it's not just about, like, physically smiling. It's about approaching life with a sense of optimism.
Yeah. And possibility.
Yeah, like anything is possible.
Exactly.
And that can really influence how things unfold.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And this idea of shifting our perception,
Okay.
it ties in beautifully with the third principle,
Right.
which is detachment from material possessions.
Oh, okay.
So the text argues that experiencing life's ups and downs
Uh-huh.
can lead us to realize that true happiness doesn't come from external things. It comes from within.
All right. So it's about recognizing that material possessions are impermanent.
Exactly.
They can come and go. And if we cling to them too tightly, it can lead to suffering.
Yeah, totally.
Think about it,
And the text uses this really powerful anecdote
Okay.
about a court dean who had observed that most disputes and conflicts, they arise from disagreements
Yeah.
over money or relationships.
Oh, wow.
It's like we get so caught up
Yeah.
in acquiring and protecting all these external things
Yeah.
that we lose sight of what really matters.
So by detaching ourselves from these material possessions, we're not just simplifying our lives.
We're freeing ourselves
Right.
from so much potential drama and heartache.
That's huge.
Yeah.
But does that mean, like, we need to become monks
No.
and give up all of our belongings?
Not at all.
Okay.
It's more about shifting our perspective,
Okay.
recognizing that true wealth
Yeah.
lies in things like experiences, relationships, and personal growth.
Okay.
Things that can't be taken away.
I think that's an important distinction
Uh-huh.
because it's easy to think it's all or nothing.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. But the text seems to be suggesting.
Yeah.
Like finding a balance.
Absolutely. It's finding that sweet spot
Yeah.
between enjoying the good things, right, without becoming like totally attached to them.
Yeah.
It's about finding that middle path, that sense of equilibrium
Okay.
that allows us to appreciate what we have without being enslaved by it.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
And that leads us perfectly to the next principle,
Yeah.
which is all about how we deal with those inevitable challenges that life throws our way.
Yeah, because let's be real. Life isn't always sunshine and roses.
For sure.
There are going to be tough times.
Absolutely.
So how do we build that resilience to weather those storms?
So the text takes a very practical approach to this.
Okay.
It says we need to accept difficulties as a natural part of life.
Okay.
It's not about pretending that everything's fine,
Right.
but it's about recognizing
Okay.
that challenges are just part of the human experience.
Like it's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's just a part of life.
Yeah. And, there's that saying,
What is it?
what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Oh, yeah. But sometimes it's hard to see it that way.
Right.
When you're in the middle of it.
For sure, when you're going through it.
Yeah. But the text reminds us that just like winter inevitably gives way to spring, periods of difficulty, they're going to pass.
Right, so you got to ride it out.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So it encourages us to approach those challenges with patience and equanimity, knowing that this too shall pass.
Yeah, that's good advice. It's like instead of seeing challenges as roadblocks, you see them as opportunities.
Exactly. And the text argues that by embracing this mindset, not only do we become more resilient, but we also open ourselves up to learning and growth that wouldn't have been possible without facing those difficulties.
And there's another good quote.
Oh, yeah.
The only way out is through.
Oh, yeah.
I love that one.
Like you can't always avoid challenges.
Right, you can't go around them.
Yeah, but you can choose how you respond to them.
Exactly. And that response can make all the difference.
Yeah, it can change everything.
Yeah.
And this idea of choosing our response, it ties into the next principle, which is all about mastering our emotions.
It is. It is.
So this is where things get really interesting.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about like emotional self-control, right?
Yeah.
But the text isn't saying like suppress your emotion.
Right.
Or become an emotionless robot.
No.
Right.
It's about developing the ability to observe your emotions without being swept away by them.
Okay, so how do you do that?
It's about creating that space between what's happening and how you respond, where you can pause and reflect and choose how you want to react.
So it's almost like hitting the pause button on that emotional roller coaster.
Exactly.
Taking a deep breath and then deciding how you want to proceed. So this is something that you have to practice.
It is. It is. It takes practice and consistent effort.
Yeah.
But over time, you can develop greater emotional stability and resilience.
Okay, so the more you practice it, the easier it becomes.
Yeah, and you become less reactive to those ups and downs.
Okay, and that makes it easier to deal with those challenges.
Exactly.
That we were talking about.
It's all connected.
It all comes together.
It does. It does.
And this brings us to the final principle. Which this one might be the most challenging. It's about embracing a mindset of letting go. Okay, so what does it actually mean to let go?
It's a good question.
Does that mean like giving up?
No.
Or being passive?
Not at all. It's more about recognizing our limitations and accepting that sometimes the best thing we can do is to surrender to what is.
All right, so it's about letting go of the need to control everything.
Exactly.
And instead, kind of going with the flow of life.
Yes, embracing the flow.
Okay.
And you know what's fascinating?
What?
The text says that by letting go, we often create space for something even better to come in.
Okay.
Have you ever heard that saying?
I think so.
When one door closes, another one opens?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've heard that.
But we have to be willing to let go of that doorknob, of that closed door, to see those new possibilities.
Love that.
Waiting for us.
That's a powerful concept.
It is. It is.
And it makes me think about all the times that I've clung to something so tightly, only to realize later that letting go was the best thing I could have done.
I think we've all been there.
Yeah, probably.
And that's the beauty of this text. It's not just theory.
Right.
It's about giving you practical tools and insights you can use every day.
Okay, so we've unpacked these 6 principles.
Mm-hmm.
My mind is already buzzing with ideas.
Oh, that's great.
Where do we go from here?
Well, I think the first step is to really reflect on which of these principles speaks to you most right now.
Okay.
You know?
And then start putting it into practice.
Yes, exactly.
Because the text emphasizes that persistence is key.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about being perfect overnight.
No.
It's about making small, consistent effort.
Absolutely.
Over time.
It's a journey.
Yeah.
Not a destination.
Right. And as we continue to explore these principles, we're going to uncover even more insights and connections.
Yeah, absolutely.
Revealing how mindfulness can transform our lives.
For sure.
All right, so get ready to go even deeper as we continue our deep dive into these 6 powerful principles for changing your destiny with mindfulness.
Sounds good.
Stay tuned.
All right.
Welcome back. I'm still thinking about all that wisdom from the first part of our deep dive.
It is a lot to take in.
But what I find so interesting about this text is that it's both deeply philosophical and intensely practical.
Yes.
At the same time,
it's a great combination.
It's like it gives you this big picture understanding of the universe. But then it also shows you how to apply these principles to like everyday life.
Totally.
Like dealing with a difficult coworker.
Yeah, or just navigating a tricky situation at work.
Exactly. So speaking of relatable, let's go back to that first principle, active choice. I was really struck by how the text framed making choices as a way of shaping our own destiny.
Right.
It's almost like every decision is a brushstroke.
Oh, I like that.
On the canvas of our lives.
That's a beautiful analogy.
Right.
And it really highlights how each choice we make, no matter how small it seems, contributes to that overall picture.
Yeah. But it also raises the question, what about those times when it feels like you don't have a choice?
Right.
Like when something happens and you feel forced into it.
Yeah.
Or what if your family's pressuring you to do something you don't really want to do?
Right.
You know?
I think in those situations, the text would argue that you still have a choice.
Okay.
It might not be about controlling the situation, but controlling your reaction to it, you know? It's about...
So maybe it's not always about changing what's happening, but about changing your mindset.
Exactly, about the situation. And you know what? That actually ties in beautifully with the principle of emotional self-control.
Oh, okay.
Because if we can learn to regulate our emotions, then we're less likely to be ruled by those outside events.
So even when we can't choose what happens to us, we can choose how we react to it emotionally.
Exactly.
And the more we practice that, the less we're at the mercy of those forces.
It's true. And we become more resilient.
Yeah.
More capable of navigating those ups and downs.
Right.
And the text points out that that leads to a more peaceful and fulfilling life.
It makes sense.
And a more fulfilling life is often one where we're not as attached to those material possessions.
Yeah, the text perspective on possessions really resonated with me.
Yeah.
It's not about, like, getting rid of everything.
Right.
But it's about shifting your perspective. Recognizing that true happiness doesn't come from just accumulating stuff.
Yeah. Because ultimately, those things are impermanent.
They are.
They can be lost, they can be damaged, they can be stolen.
Or they can just go out of style.
Oh, yeah. Remember those bell-bottoms you loved in high school?
Okay, I get it.
You know?
But detaching ourselves from those material possessions can really free us from so much anxiety and suffering.
And it allows you to focus on what really matters.
Right.
Your relationships, your experiences, your personal growth.
Right, okay.
The things that really enrich your life.
And speaking of enriching our lives, I want to talk about that quote again.
Yeah, which one?
About people who love to smile.
Oh, yeah.
It says, people who love to smile will not have bad luck.
It's such a good quote.
I'm still thinking about it.
I know.
It's so simple, but so profound.
It is.
But how do we actually cultivate that kind of positive outlook when life is throwing curveballs at us?
I think the text would say it starts with awareness.
Okay.
Noticing those negative thoughts, those knee-jerk reactions to challenges, and consciously choosing to shift your focus.
So instead of getting bogged down by the negativity, we actively look for the good.
Yeah, the silver lining.
The opportunity.
Exactly. It's like retraining your brain to see the world through a more optimistic lens. And the more you do that, the more those positive perspectives become your default.
Okay.
Which leads to a more positive experience of life.
And this ties right back to that idea of active choice. We're actively choosing to focus on the positive.
Yes.
When it's easier to focus on the negative.
And that choice, that conscious effort can have a ripple effect throughout your life.
Okay.
It influences your relationships, your work, your overall well-being.
It's like we're setting ourselves up for success.
Yeah, exactly.
Just by choosing to be positive.
It's amazing how these principles,
Yeah.
they're all interconnected.
They are. It's like threads woven together to create this beautiful tapestry of mindful living.
I like that.
And it's a tapestry we can continue to weave throughout our lives.
It is.
With each choice we make, with each experience, with each challenge we overcome.
We're adding threads of resilience.
Right.
Wisdom and inner peace.
And we're creating something that's uniquely our own.
Exactly.
That's really beautiful. It reminds me of that quote.
Oh, which one?
The only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be.
Oh, that's a good one. And that decision starts with the choices we make every single day.
Every day.
So let's choose wisely.
Choose wisely. Okay, I'm feeling inspired.
Good.
Where do we go from here?
Well, this text has given us a lot to think about.
It has.
But there's one more principle we haven't discussed in depth.
Oh, right.
The principle of letting go.
Ah, the art of surrender. That's a tough one, isn't it?
It can be.
Especially in the culture that's all about control and achieving things. But the text makes a really compelling case for the power of letting go.
It does.
It argues that by releasing our grip on what we can't control, we open ourselves up to new things, new possibilities.
To greater possibilities.
And it's not about giving up or being passive.
No.
It's about recognizing our limitations, accepting that sometimes the best thing we can do is just let go.
Exactly. And that can be incredibly freeing.
Okay.
It allows us to release stress, stop fighting against what's inevitable, and embrace the flow of life.
And you never know, maybe that's when the real magic happens.
It could be.
Right.
Yeah.
When we surrender to what is, we create space for something new.
Exactly.
Something better.
Yeah, it's like that saying, when one door closes, another one opens.
Right, right.
But we have to be willing to let go of that doorknob.
To see what's on the other side.
And trust that something better awaits us.
I like that. It reminds me of a time when, one thing that really struck me about this piece is that it doesn't shy away from the hard parts of life.
Right. It acknowledges that.
Yeah, it acknowledges that life is full of challenges. And sometimes those challenges can feel really overwhelming.
Yeah.
So it's like it meets us right where we are.
I think that's what makes it so relatable.
Yeah.
So many self-help books.
Right.
And gurus and stuff try to paint this picture of constant bliss.
Yeah, like it's easy.
Like it's easy and you're always successful.
Right, and it's just not realistic.
But this text, it feels much more grounded and relatable.
Yeah, it's like it's saying, hey, life can be messy, but here are some tools to help you through it.
Exactly. And I also appreciate that it doesn't offer those quick fixes or easy answers.
Yeah.
It emphasizes that these principles are practices.
They are.
Things you have to work on over time.
Yeah, consistently.
Exactly. It's not about, reaching some perfect state of mindfulness. It's about showing up every day.
Doing the work.
And doing the work, even when it's hard.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes it so empowering. Because it's not about being superhuman or achieving some crazy ideal.
It's about tapping into what's already there.
The wisdom, the resilience.
Exactly.
That's already inside of us.
And learning to use it to deal with the ups and downs.
It's like we're uncovering a hidden strength.
I love that.
Like a wellspring of inner peace and wisdom.
It's always been there.
That we didn't know we had.
Yeah, just waiting to be discovered.
And these principles are like the tools to help us find it.
I love that image. Like we're on an archaeological dig.
Right.
Carefully uncovering those layers of conditioning and limiting beliefs.
Yeah, that have been holding us back.
Exactly.
And with each principle, we unearth another piece of the puzzle and reveal a more authentic self.
It's a process.
It is. And it's not linear.
Right.
There are going to be setbacks. There will be times when you doubt yourself. Times when it feels like you're taking 2 steps back for every 1 step forward.
But even those stumbles, they're part of the journey.
And they're all part of the process.
Do you know?
And that's what the text emphasizes.
It does.
It's a lifelong practice.
Yeah.
Not a destination.
You're never going to, like, arrive, you know?
It's about continuing to show up.
Showing up every day.
Willing to learn and grow. And forgiving ourselves.
Forgiving yourself when you mess up.
When we fall short.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
But we got to keep moving forward.
Keep moving forward.
And this reminds me of what we were discussing about emotional self-control.
Okay.
It's not about pretending you don't have emotions. It's about learning to respond to them differently.
Right. Exactly. Responding in a more skillful way.
And it takes practice, right?
It does.
It's like building a muscle. The more you work that muscle, the stronger it gets.
And the more resilient you become.
Yeah, exactly.
To those ups and downs.
And that brings us back to endurance in the face of difficulty.
Yes.
You know, the text really highlights that challenges are a part of life.
Right. It even compares them to the changing seasons.
I love that analogy.
It's like a good one, right?
It is. Just like winter inevitably follows fall.
Yeah.
We're going to experience those periods of difficulty.
But just like spring always returns.
Yeah.
Bringing new life and growth.
Yeah.
We will emerge from those challenges.
Stronger, hopefully.
Stronger and wiser.
That's a comforting thought.
It is.
Knowing that even when things are tough, there's always hope.
There is.
You know, for renewal and transformation.
And that transformation often comes from letting go.
Yes, letting go.
Which we've talked about a lot today.
It's a powerful idea.
It is.
But it can be hard to do.
I know, especially
when we're so used to trying to control everything.
Yeah, we think we have to be in control.
What if, like the text says, true control comes from letting go of the need to control?
Oh, okay, that's deep.
What if, by surrendering, we actually open ourselves up to even more possibilities?
More than we could have imagined.
It's a radical idea.
It is.
But there's something really freeing about it.
There is.
It's like releasing that tight grip we have on life.
Yeah, just letting go.
Yeah, and trusting.
Trusting that you're being guided to the right place.
Even if you can't see the path.
Exactly.
Who knows where it might take us?
Right.
Maybe it'll take us to unexpected places.
Yeah, to uncharted territories.
The new experiences.
And isn't that the beauty of life?
It is.
The unknown, the mystery.
The adventure of it all.
Yeah.
It's about embracing that with all the twists and turns.
And trusting that you're exactly where you need to be.
Even when it doesn't feel like it.
Right, even when it's hard.
So as we wrap up our deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with a final thought.
All right.
From this text. It's not just a bunch of ideas.
Right.
It's an invitation.
To what?
To try out a more mindful way of life.
Okay, yeah.
To choose awareness. Instead of just going through the motions, to build up your resilience when things get tough.
Yeah.
To learn to let go.
It's important.
And to actively shape your own destiny.
It is. And to remember that you have the power to change your life.
You do.
It's all within you.
Yeah.
These principles, they're not magic.
Right.
But they're tools that can help you create the life that you want.
A better life.
Yeah, to tap into your strength and wisdom.
Yeah.
And to live with more peace, purpose, and joy.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Thanks for joining us on this journey.
Yes. Thank you, everyone, for listening.
Until next time.
May you find peace, wisdom, and the courage to create a life that you truly love.